Everyone here has either heard or learned about the Great Depression sometime in their life. This is a big part of history. And it's good to know so we can learn from the mistakes so we don't have another Great Depression in our lifetime. Today, I will introduce you to some problems that either occurred or helped start the Great Depression. First, I'll explain how the Depression became and affected the nation. Then, during the Depression, I will tell you about the Dust Bowl that affected the Midwestern and Southern Plains. Then, I'll explain how the Great Depression affected the nation globally. On October 29, 1929, also known as Black Tuesday, was the day that the stock market crashed. Even though it wasn't the sole cause of the Depression, it played a big role in it. During the Roaring '20s, investors invested aggressively in the stock market, thinking it was safe. The reason for this, because new technologies were coming out, and so they thought it'd be a great idea to invest in these companies coming out with this new technology, such as radios. The Federal Reserve raised interest rates a couple of times to help cool the overheated economy and stock market, thinking this would help. Investors realized that the stock market was an overinflated speculative balloon. A vast number of stock investors tried to liquidate their shares to no avail. In just 3 days, over $5 billion worth of market capitalization had been erased from the New York Stock Exchange. Then by the end of 1929, over $16 billion had been lost. To add insult to injury, the banks invested their deposits into the market, causing the banks to lose them all. Bank runs began to occur when bank partners tried to withdraw their savings. At the same time, adding fuel to the crash, after the financial system was in shambles, many bank speculators who were very affluent committed suicide by jumping out of buildings. Even bank partners who did not invest in shares became broke, as $140 billion disappeared and 10,000 banks failed. Now, with the Depression hitting the Midwestern and Southern Plains, also had its own problem as well. Also known as the Dirty 30s, the Dust Bowl created problems for farmers, ranchers, and anyone living in that region. From 1931 to 1939, a severe drought hit the Midwestern and Southern Plains. This area, over 150,000 square miles, included the Oklahoma and Texas panhandles, their neighboring sections of Kansas, Colorado, and New Mexico. The combination of little rainfall, light soil, and high winds contributed to the Dust Bowl. The soil was loose from World War I of over-harvesting to support the troops. That it lacked a strong root system. The strong winds picked up the loose topsoil and swirled into dense dust clouds called black blizzards. These current dust storms wreaked havoc, killing livestock by suffocating them, and drove 60% of the population from the region. Not only was there a depression nationwide, but there was one globally. As the depression lingered, it influenced the U.S. foreign policies in such a way that our government became even more isolationist. The stock market crashed in 1929, and economic downturn in Germany and financial difficulties in France and Great Britain all coincided to cause a global crisis. In 1933, at the London Economic Conference, leaders of the world's main economies met to resolve the economic crisis, but failed to reach a major collective agreement. The Depression dragged on through the rest of the 1930s as a result. In conclusion, I have introduced you to some causes of the Great Depression and what took place during it, and how we are affected by nationally and globally. economists or even we can learn from these mistakes, so we can prevent catastrophe like this happening again. And these are my references.